Kaley Chu
Oh,
live.
we're live! Yay!
Yeah, let's go live. Just live. Just give me a
This is
second.
exciting.
Exciting times. Hello, everyone. Yes, we will start this in a few minutes. So meanwhile, do bear with us.
What?
If you
Why
have
do we need
joined
to wait
us,
2 minutes?
yeah.
I thought we started already.
If we have no, if you no are actually with us now, you just join us. Do like, tag, and share our live with all your friends out there, so that many will come and enjoy this sharing session. Just give us. Okay,
Yes.
right. I think it's time now. Yeah. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope all is well and stay safe during this season. We are now into the second week of 2021, and welcome to the fifth edition of my live session. My name is Xing, and I will be your host for today. Before I begin, I would like to thank all of you who are watching right now. For those who are watching for the first time, this live is actually all about us, our story. Everyone has a unique story to tell. We may not realize it, but our story may inspire someone out there, especially in these extraordinary times. Hence, everyone is to connect and share each other experiences. Do you have one? What is your story? We would like to hear from you. Today, I am very honored to have a special guest with me from Melbourne, Australia. She pushed herself to accomplish a remarkable challenge in 2018, to have lunch with 100 complete strangers. Wow, how amazing is that? What came next completely changed her life, and the rest is history. 100 Lunches story shares about how a shy immigrant girl became a successful people connector in just over 1 year. Today, she is a TEDx speaker, author of 100 Lunches with Strangers, keynote and motivational speaker, founder and CEO at 100 Lunches. Her inspiring stories have been featured on Herald Sun, The Age, the Sydney Morning Herald, ABC, Sky News, SBS, Foxtel 89.9, Light FM, and many others more. She also speaks across Australia and all over the world to motivate others to step out of their comfort zone, connect with people, and live a more fulfilling life. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us put our hands together to welcome Miss Kaley Chu. Hi, Kelly. First of all, I would
Thank
like to
you.
thank you for joining us today.
Oh,
Of
thank
course,
you for having me today.
of course, all of us are very super excited to have you here, and we really appreciate you taking some time to come and share your story with all of us. So, can you please tell us actually about yourself and where are you from?
I was from Hong Kong. I grew up in Hong Kong. I finished high school in Hong Kong and I came to Melbourne, Australia about 14 years ago. Hello. I can see a few people saying hello. Hello, Ellen. Hello, everyone. Yeah, so that's me. Just like everyone else, just an immigrant from Hong Kong. And then for the first 13 years when I was here, I just lived in my little bubble. I couldn't talk to anyone, literally could not talk to anyone that's non-Asian. My world was so small. And then I just decided that that's not okay. And I decided to go and have lunch with strangers just to build up my confidence so that I can start to talk to people. But what happened next completely changed my life in every single aspect.
Oh, that's amazing, right? What was your actually ambition that in your childhood days? Did it change over time?
Not really, to be honest. I think I'm still who I am, except that I'm more confident and more, know what I'm doing now. I've got bigger goals, but who I am don't really change. Like I remember, my earliest memory as little as I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old. All I wanted to be is just a good mom, and that's never changed. Now still like my kids are my world and that's no one more important than my kids and my whole life I want to be a good example and inspiration for my kids, and I just want to be a good mom. So yes, same, mom.
When do you decide to actually migrate to Australia, actually, and why?
When I decided to migrate to Australia, I came here 14, 15 years ago. Yeah, so the unofficial reason, the official reason was because, Melbourne's the most education city, the best education ever. That's why I came here. But the unofficial, which is more like a real answer, was because my boyfriend at the time, which is my husband now, he came to Australia to study, so I had to follow him. So that's how I moved here. And then I love the city. Like, we've got the best city in the world, like the world's most livable city. It's just not me. It's the truth. And the people here are just so friendly and so nice, and the food's amazing. And there's no reason to come back, to go back home. Melbourne's home now.
Yeah, that's awesome, awesome, right? And what are the things that you miss most actually in Hong Kong now that you are actually in Australia?
There are a few things that I miss from Hong Kong, mainly my family and friends, my childhood friends. Most of my families are here now, like my parents, my brother, they all moved to Australia now, but I still have like grandparents, my cousins, my aunties, uncles, and my friends from school back here that I miss them. And also, if I had to be completely honest, there's like a special noodle that I absolutely love that I had that for like 2 years in a row for lunches every single day. I miss that so much. Like, I have to eat that every time I go back home. I still can't find it here in Australia. But otherwise, I really love Australia. Like, it's such a beautiful place. And yeah, I just settled in and love here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Please share with us your story, on how it all started. Actually, your 100 lunches with strangers. How did it all started?
How it all started. So like I said earlier, I'm a mum. So I've got two boys. They're 7 and 4 now. So when I finished my second maternity leave, which was 3 years ago, I started a new job. And I struggled so much because for my previous role, I was okay. I was dealing with mainly Asian people, and I lived a life which was okay. But then all of a sudden, that new job as a business development manager, I need to talk to a lot of Australians. And I struggled. Like, I really, really struggled. And I remember that first meeting that I had was really embarrassing. I couldn't answer a question that I've been well prepared for. And that 2 hour meeting, I was just so quiet. I couldn't say anything. And that was the day that I said, nah, that's it. I got to change. And I had to, able to talk to people. You can't live in Australia and unable to talk to Australian. That's ridiculous. And I'm so glad that I started the journey. So I'm here today.
Yeah. Can you tell us actually, how do you come about to this number, 100 lunches? Why can't it be like 200, 300, 500 lunches, or even 1,000 lunches? So,
Good question. I actually haven't stopped since I reached 100. So that was my goal. That's why it's always called 100 lunches. And I feel like the 100 is like a magic number where I really changed my life. That's how I published the book there, 100 Lunches with Strangers. But now I had like almost 300 lunches with strangers now. So that's amazing. But how I decided 100 was because that was my New Year resolution in 2018. So for those who are listening and wondering what should you do about the new year, maybe that could be your next New Year resolution. I don't know, but that was for me because I want a number that is challenging enough. Like, I need to do consistently, so it's not like 10 or 20, but I also need a realistic number which I can achieve in 1 year. If I go like 365 lunches with strangers, then I know that I'm going to fail for sure. So 100 is like a cool number, but at the same time, it's just 2 a week, which is achievable, even though I've got family and work and everything else. So just a good number.
Oh, okay, right. So the other question that I have is why is it lunch and why not dinner?
uh, I think as a working mom, time is, we need good time management. Especially with young kids. Like I've got a full-time job. I used to, not anymore. Like now I work for myself. So yeah, I still have a full-time job, but not working for someone, 9 to 5 and things like that. So when you have a full-time job and then you've got 2 young kids, lunch is like the only time that I've got that's like my time that for myself. Plus, I'm eating lunch anyway, so instead of having lunch by myself or just with a couple of colleagues that's always the same people, maybe just utilize that a little bit better. And yeah.
Okay, right, yeah. So far, of course, like what you mentioned earlier on, you have more than 300 lunches now, right?
Yeah, almost 300 lunches. Yes.
Yeah, and the numbers are still growing, right, day by day. And
Absolutely, yeah. I have no plans to stop. So anyone who's watching, feel free to invite me out for lunch. I love lunches. I love
yeah,
meeting new people.
okay, right. So tell us, so far you have so many lunches. What is your most memorable lunch that you had today?
There are so many of them. I don't know which. I can't think of one. I mean, there are so many just immediately pop to my head when you say memorable. Like I remember when I had my book launch, I wrote a list of names that I want to thank on the stage. Like not just people who helped me a little bit, help people who really changed my life and helped me so much that I'm really, really thankful for them. There are about like 30 something names on the list that I'm so thankful for that I had to say it on the stage. And I looked at it and I go, wow, 90% of them, I didn't even know them a year ago and they changed my life. Like there are so many amazing, incredible lunches there, but I don't know which one. So many. I think the most popular one that most people know is the one with Shane Jacobson, which is my 200th lunch, and he came back as my guest for like lunch with Kaley Chu show. The reason why that was a memorable one because it changes my life in an unexpected way. Like he spent time talk to me, and then he is it too much information? He forced me, literally forced me to say I love you to my mom, and then that's improved the relationship between me and my parents, and that's just an incredible story. I love it.
Okay, these are the, I mean, some of the, is there any challenges among and
Absolutely,
surprises?
of course. I think any project that you do over 1 year, you'll have plenty of challenges, but at the same time, it's so much fun. And I've learned so much throughout the journey and I've grown so much. So the challenges seems insignificant, but at the same time, there are plenty. I'm sure like because you started your lunch journey too, you must have faced some challenges like, I don't know, lots of cancellation or people not very friendly sometimes, or they rejected you, or so many rejections that we have to deal with, or I don't know, I even got some hate emails sometimes like before, which is like yay. Like a accomplishment mission or something, no accomplishment achieved, something like that. Like got a hate email, but yeah, plenty of challenges, but doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, right. What are some of the most important lessons that you have learned from all your lunches? I'm sure that you have learned a lot of things, right? So, I mean, what is the most important one that you can remember out of these lunches that you had?
I remember I shared in my TEDx talk that the number one lesson I learned was about myself, about like self-awareness, who I am, understand about what I really want. But now, a year later, almost a year after my TED talk, if you ask me what's the number one lesson that I've learned, not lesson, but the number one takeaway is the people, is the connection that we make during those lunches. Because lunches is great. It's just 1 hour conversation. We had fun. We got some inspiration, but the connection after, the new friendship after is the most important thing that I treasure. Like last year was a very challenging year, like with COVID and lockdown, and for me changing jobs and all my jobs got cancelled and everything else. Without all my new connections, without my friends to help me, the year will be like 10 times harder. But because of them, my life has become much better, like in so many ways. And I'm forever thankful for my lunch guests, all my friends, my new friends that I made throughout my lunches. And yeah, and I think that's the most important thing. Like, if I have to put it as a lesson, that would be the importance of connections or importance of your network. Yeah, like I said, one connection can change your life, and you have so many connections, and your life will be on a different level altogether, like to something that you can't even imagine before you start the journey. That's my takeaway.
Yeah, exactly. Because like what you correctly said, that no, you never know, right? Who you will meet next, right? Through
Absolutely, yeah.
your connection. Yeah, you never know, right? Yeah. So that's why I think that explains why I think you did mention that. Why do you think networking is very important, especially in this period, right? You did indicate earlier on.
Absolutely. Building real connections, not just, swapping business cards and, hey, I'm doing this, let's swap clients, or not those connections, but like a real genuine connection where we truly care about each other and know each other on a personal, deeper level. Like, they are like priceless. Like, they're so important. And that makes life more interesting and fulfilled as well. Like, not just, it's just life is better. Life is about relationship with people, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have someone that you always look up to, as a mentor?
look up to. There are so many people that I look up to. Depends on what you're talking about. Like, for example, my business partner John, like, I always look up to him and I learned so much from him. And also, throughout my lunches I made new great mentors. One of them is called Michael Russell. He taught me so much about business and life as well. And then all in general, I don't know, there are like also other people that I look up to that I hugely respect in life.
Yeah,
Yeah, so many. I don't know. How much time do you have?
yeah. This, yeah. So basically, no, can you share with us actually how do you manage your time so efficiently, effectively? What maybe you can describe to us your typical day, since because it seems to be going all over the places, right? So how do you juggle your time?
I don't know. Like, my days are very different. I think there are lots of different types of people in the world, which is another lesson that I've learned. People are very different. Everyone's different, which makes it so interesting to really understand people more. Some people have like very fixed routine. That's how they thrive in life. They've got like what they need to do every single day, have a good to-do list and routine and things. But for me, I'm very spontaneous. I get bored easily. So now, as a founder of a new startup, my life is around people. Like, I still continue to meet a lot of people every day. Like, yesterday I had 5 meetings. That was so awesome. Like, I have so many great opportunities come out of it, and just lovely to meet people. But today I've got like just one. So it's all about the meetings, and then I just do whatever I need to do. I've got things I need to do. Yeah, working around it. That's my day, but I don't know if it works for other people. Yeah.
When you say meeting is actually, is it from your lunches that the person that you meet, or just a business meeting?
Both. Like, I still meeting people for lunch, and then at the same time, um, there are like lots of introduction. Hey, Kaley, so I know what you're doing now. You should probably meet Shane because he's doing such a cool thing. He's got his live show, so come and meet him. Like, lots of people introduce me to other people to continue to expand my network and see, and feel more connection.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's quite amazing, right? The person that you meet for lunch, sometimes may not, be, somebody that you may be potentially, introducing another person, right, to you, right? Which,
Yeah,
which will be, maybe you have the connection with the next person, not the person directly, right? So that's why you never know, right? The
absolutely.
person that, yeah, that's the
That
amazing
experience.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why you like I say, you never know, right? What you get out of these lunches, right?
Yes.
And yeah, so from what you see, actually, last year, the lockdown, the year 2020, like I said, has been an extraordinary year, right? So we of course, each of us, there are a lot of lessons to be learned
Yes.
from that. So can you share with us actually, what are the important lessons that you have actually learned from the lockdown last year?
What lessons that I learned from the lockdown last year? There's so many. Like I said, the importance of connections, they're so important. Or I just got it top of my head. I don't know if it makes sense, but I think last year what it taught me is we are much stronger than what we think. Like I had so many challenges last year from so many different perspectives, but somehow everything seems to be turned out okay at the end, and that just makes me feel like, yeah, we can do this. We can. Maybe we're better than who we think we are. I don't know. That's one of my lessons.
uh, did you acquire any new skills during the period?
Absolutely, yeah. Like before last year, I was pretty much against online meeting. Like when I start to build my platform 100lunches.com, I talked to lots of people, and I said, no, 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 lunch has to be face to face, because of the connections that we built over breaking bread and stuff. But then COVID happens for the whole year. We couldn't, have lunch with strangers in a restaurant properly. Then we forced to have Zoom lunches, which I've never had in my entire life. When I first started, I thought, no, that's not going to work. Like, how can you make a connection with someone over the computer? But turns out that we can. Don't get me wrong, I still like face-to-face lunch better if I had the choice, because, the little hug at the end of the lunch, or just, sharing the food. Hey, do you want to have a bite of my whatever I'm eating? That feels nice, and sharing the same plate of fries, for example. But I still made amazing connections, in particular with people all over the world, through Zoom, that I never thought was possible. Like,
Yeah, that actually brought me up that point, right? Because your 100 lunches, it all started with lunches first, right? And it's
yeah,
supposed to be meant face to face. That was
yeah.
before the lockdown thing, right? Start to come in.
Mm.
So of course, when the lockdown came last year, uh, there wasn't any much choice, right? But to bring all this into Zoom.
Yes.
So I guess that you have been doing quite a lot of Zoom over the period of last year, right? So
Yes.
how many Zoom meetings that you had?
Oh,
Last
so many. I can't even count. I totally lost count. Like when the lockdown happened, I started the lunch with Kaley show, virtual lunch with Kaley show. That was 10 lunches, which was really fun. Like it's just a group of people having lunch together and just share some laughs. Nothing too serious, but it's just great experience. And then I had like lots of one-on-one lunches almost daily basis, because I just can't live without people. And then after that, I start to create a Facebook group where we do weekly meetings, and we do lots of webinars, sharing everything that I learned, like how to create a vision board, how to lunch, and how to do lots of things. I don't know. It's part of my life now. More than 100 for sure, but I don't know how many. A lot is the answer.
I see, I see. So you are actually, can you describe yourself, whether are you an introvert or more like extrovert, or combination of both?
I think that's a very good question. I don't know if everyone knows the definition of extrovert and introvert, because I did a little bit of research after that, when people start to call me introvert or whatever. So extrovert is someone who get energy from people, and introverts are people who's like drain energy by being around with people. I believe that I'm always an extrovert. I always love people. I like to hang around with people. But what made me so struggle or frustrating was that I was a very lacking confidence extrovert. Like that means that ever since like I came to Australia for the first like 12 years, that I couldn't talk to people, not because I didn't want to. Like there are people out there who's happily by themselves reading a book and not talking to people. They're perfectly happy. That's great, but that's not me. Like I was the one that's sitting in the corner, not talking to anyone. That's not because I'm an introvert. I'm just don't have the confidence. I just couldn't talk to people, and that's really, really frustrating. They're like shy extrovert and confident introverts, where you're an introvert but you can still be a social butterfly and talk to everybody. Anyway, so I was just so what I'm trying to say is that I'm always like that. I'm always an extrovert. Like now I can't stop talking, which I feel bad now. I feel like I'm overtaking your show. Like you can't stop talking. But yeah, so I'm always an extrovert. So I'm just becoming more about who I really am. Like I always love to talk. And now I just able to talk instead of hiding and being frustrated.
Wow, that was in the period of just 1 year alone that you have transformed, is it?
Absolutely. I think it's like a process. As the life goes on, I just talk more and more and more. Now I can't stop.
Okay, right. So you describe yourself more of a confident extrovert. And
yes, finally I can be who I really am, which feels fantastic. Yeah.
Wow. So, and how do you actually boost your confidence? Like what you?
I don't know. I think by talking to a lot of people, I realized that there are so many things that I learned from people. Like everyone's different. Like when I first started, I just want to copy people and try to fit into the society. And then I realized that you can't even fit in because there's no one type of person that you can pretend to be. You can't, because everyone's different. You can't fit in even if you try. So just be yourself. And the more I talk to people, the more I realize that I can just be myself and be real and just be who I am. If they like me, fantastic, we can be friends. And if they don't like me, I used to worry a lot because I have like a handful of friends. If they don't like me, then I'll be very sad. But now I meet hundreds of people. If one person doesn't like me, that's great. I'll move on there, and then like 99 people to go. Does it sound good or bad? I don't know. Like, what I want to say is just be who you are, and that's where the confidence comes from. I believe. Like, confident is not thinking you're better than anyone. That's not confident. That's arrogant. Confident means that just be who you are without the need to compare yourself to anyone.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So during the last year lockdown, actually, right? What skills did you acquire? Any new skills during that period?
Yes. How to do Zoom. How to connect with people
I mean,
on the computer. Yeah. I think that's actually a skill. How to be natural in front of a computer, because it's not easy to connect with someone over Zoom. And more importantly, how to be present, because to be honest, it's so easy to, like, I believe that doesn't matter if it's virtual lunches or face-to-face lunch, the number one key is be present. Like really be present and listen to what the other person's got to say, and talk to that person to to understand each other. But face-to-face is just a lot easier to do that. But virtual, sometimes if you're good enough and hiding your phone somewhere in the corner, you might be able to get away from looking at your phone or something like that. So really learn to how to be present.
So that means you still prefer face-to-face lunch. I mean, meetup compared to a Zoom or virtual meetup. Is it correct?
I think both is pros and cons. Like virtual obviously got its very great pros. Like I could have like 6 Zoom meetings in one afternoon, like back to back to back, and 45 minutes each. That's so efficient. There's no driving time in between, and you can just go one meeting to the next one. And you can meet people all over the world. Like instead of just people from Melbourne, I've had lunches with people in UK, US, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia. I don't know, like really everywhere in the world. That I couldn't before, or it's extremely hard to arrange. And that just grew my perspective even more, because how you grow is to get different perspective in life. So which is fantastic. But of course, I still love meeting people face to face.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
So if you were to turn back the time, what do you think that you can do even better?
If I could turn back the time, what could I do even better? I think there are lots of things that I could do better. Like the first few lunches, I feel sorry for my lunch guests because I had nothing to share. My life was so boring, like nothing interesting. And I was so shy. I was lacking confidence and I couldn't talk to them. If I could do it again, I could have done a lot better. But without those experiences, I couldn't learn. Like those bad experiences are the ones that I learned most. So while I could change lots of things, while I could do better, I don't think there's anything I want to change. They're great for different reasons. Yeah.
Now that we are actually into the year 2021, what is your plan for this year?
100lunches.com. That's my big plan. Actually, I have so many plans to grow 100 lunches, because since I started the lunch journey, I published a book and then I started to do speaking. I convinced some people to start the journey as well. And their stories really, really, really encourage me and warms my heart so much that, hey, Kaley, seems like I found a simple solution to a lot of things in life, and seeing them transform their life makes me feel like, okay, I'm on a mission now. This is my calling in life. This is the purpose of my life, is to just keep spreading the words, telling the world what 100 lunches is and how simple it is that to change your whole life, change your destiny. Like seriously, like you can change your destiny and be an inspiration for your family, for people around you, by how much you change in just as little as 1 year. So my job is to A, spread the word, tell more people about that, and B, build a platform, which is 100lunches.com, so that people it's a lot easier for people to find lunch guests, so they don't get so many rejections like I did, and it's just an easier process for people. And 3, I just have lots of plans to make it a better experience. Like at the moment, I was just talking earlier about how I got restaurants on board where they can get buy one, get one free. Strangers eat for free. How good is that? So we don't need to worry about who pays for lunch. Strangers eat for free. So there are lots of things that I'm working behind the scene to make this journey as easy as possible for people, because I know that how one connection can change your life, and how 100 lunches can change so many people's life for better. And that's my focus in 2021.
Wow, amazing. So many plans for this year. So do you have any more things to add before we end this live?
I don't know. If you let me talk, I can talk for another 5 hours. So it depends if anyone's got any questions for me. But otherwise, I'm really thankful for your time, and give me an opportunity to share my story. And you've done so well, Shane. I'm so impressed that you're doing so many lunches, and you've been a great friend for me, for constantly giving me honest feedback, which is so important. Like having real people around you, people who really telling you, hey, you've done badly. That's something that money can't buy, seriously. Like that's something that I'm forever grateful for. So thank you so much, Xing. And we just realized that we've got the same surname, even though in English they spell different, in Chinese they're the same. So that's pretty cool. Maybe we share the same great grandparents or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just found out that as well. Yeah. So, all right, everyone. So, this conclude my life for today. I'm sure that by now many are already inspired by Kaylee's story. So, well, I'm already been inspired by her. So that's the reason why I actually invited her to come over to this live to share her story with everyone, so that everyone will know about her story, and hope that everyone will be inspired by her. Actually, I already started my 100 lunches with stranger journey not that long ago, and I can say that it's quite fun, and I believe that all of us should give it a try. So you can actually follow all my stories on my Facebook. So due to the time constraint, I think that if there's no any other question, uh, once again I would like to thank you, Caddy, and everyone for watching my live today. And of course, if you do like this live, please remember to share and let your friends know. So please follow me on my Facebook, Shinchu, on the address link provided at the bottom of the screen. And of course, if you would like to know more about KB as well, her address is also at the bottom of the screen as well. So this, so that you will also at the same time, you will also get to know when I will go live next. So I will see you all in the next edition. And until then, have a great weekend ahead. And thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye. Bye.